Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of This Life, a podcast by Mayorca Media. I'm your host, Felix Mayorca. Thanks so much for coming back and listening. If it's your first time, I appreciate you being here. This Life is a podcast about mental health. It's about life. It's about just how mental health intertwines with everyday life, with this life that we're living in. Today I have a really cool guest. His name is Randall, aka Randy. He is a dog trainer, a rapper. I wouldn't say rapper. He's a musician. Let's call it that. He's a musician. This guy's just everything, man. I met him at Pizza Port with a couple of my other friends, and it was just kind of a little like, hey, he had a dog, and I said, what's up to the dog? And it was a little conversation in passing. I never really thought that this person would later be on my podcast. But that's how you make connections. I think moral of the story today is reach out to people, anyone, someone you don't know, just have a conversation with them. He's got a pretty phenomenal story from being homeless to riding his bike all the way from Canada to Southern California. So definitely stay tuned for this one. That being said, this episode is sponsored by the one, the only Popple. I got it right here on my case. I always keep it on me. This is your digital business card. It's a beautiful thing. I'm gonna do the demo for those of you watching the video, because I just love this thing. I'm gonna go ahead and put up my phone, and then I put up the Popple right behind it, and I'm trying to double task. We got a little pop-up window come up here. Click on the little pop-up Popple window, and it's loading, and there is all my stuff. There's my beautiful photo, my wonderful face, and it has my website. It's got my Instagram. You can text me. It's got the podcast links, and then I put that link onto my Instagram. So anyone that goes to my Instagram gets my Popple little link section. If you use code ThisLife on Popple's website, which is popl.co, you get 20% off of your purchase. The link is down below as well on the description of the episode. And yeah, just click on that link and I get a little kickback from it. So thank you so much for supporting the show. So Randall and I spoke about training dogs. We spoke about where he came from. We got into Black Lives Matter. We got into just all sorts of things. Afterwards, we spoke a little bit more, and he's just a creative dude. I never like to box someone into one thing. That's why I kind of struggled with what Randall was. He's more than just a dog trainer, more than just a musician. He's got a bunch of stuff going on. I'm excited to have this person in my life, and I'm excited for you to listen to our conversations. So without further ado, here is my episode with Randall. Make sure you follow him on Instagram. The Instagram and all that will be down in the show notes, so check that out. And thank you for your support. Thank you for listening. Bye. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us once more. Who am I sitting with?
My name is Randy Tyrone Ogden.
All right, Randy, welcome to This Life.
Thank you. I like it.
So we're just talking about, I want to start on this. We're talking about kind of how crazy your life is when you more or less work for yourself. You work for yourself.
I do.
And we met where?
We met at, what is it called? Pizza Port.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pizza Port. My friend works there. And actually, he was also a client of mine.
Oh, nice.
For dog training. And he's like, hey, come through. I don't use up my break time, so you can. And so we were there enjoying some pizza. And then y'all came through.
Yeah. I was there with two friends. Mm-hmm. And we didn't really talk a lot. It was just like, yo, what's up? Cute dog. And then I think you gave me your Instagram. I gave you either a card or my Instagram as well. And I've just kind of been sitting back watching. What do you do?
Easy to, to understand is dog training, but what I like to say it really is I am able to communicate with the dog and have them be able to speak to us in their language, which is built up of noises and body postures and the way they look at you and, you know, how they exhale and all these things that create this language. And for people, we normally think of language as linguistic,
right.
You know, bilabial movements.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, yeah. Beautiful, dude. You have a good voice.
Thank you. I'm releasing my album right now.
Are you really?
For real.
Hell yeah.
It's on Spotify as R and L.
R and L.
The and symbol, like Randall. R and L.
That's sick. Look them up. Spotify.
Woo.
Hell yeah. What's this venture of yours called?
Canine Conscious. Yeah.
So something that I actually really like, and that kind of stood out to me, was that you treat the dogs like, and this is gonna for some reason offend people, but you treat the dogs like animals. They're animals.
Yes.
They like to run around there.
Yes.
And I've said that so many times where I'm like, it's an animal.
Yeah.
You know, and people are like, oh my God. It's
That's
like
my baby.
That's fine. Which
Right.
is great. I have 2 dogs, love them to death.
Giving
and
me goosebumps.
Oh, what's up, man? We're homies now, huh? Yeah, I have 2 dogs. I absolutely love them, but I'm like rough with them, and
Yeah.
you know they're animals, and
Yeah.
they hunt for gophers, and they're outside dogs, mostly outside, and they hunt. One's a husky, one's a beagle.
Beautiful.
And the beagle's tough to walk because she is scent driven, and she's always, you know, and we're working on it, but that's the main thing, is they're animals. That doesn't mean that they are, you know, beasts. They still need your trust. They still need, they still need love. You can have your animal be your baby. But I feel like now in society now, people just are so afraid of something touching, happening, anything.
Yeah.
What's one of the biggest challenges you've had with that?
Oh gosh.
Our kind of dog culture now.
That strikes a deep chord within me because, you know, we're people, we anthropomorphize things, meaning we put human characteristics on animals.
Right.
And we assume, because of, you know, we assume that they do things for the same reason that we do, or they're motivated by the same things that we are, which is true, you know, hunger, shelter, sex, play, interaction, all these things, stimulation of these types. But the thing is, they need to be expressed, instinctually expressed, and anything that is not able to really express itself becomes depressed.
Right.
So it's like,
hold on. Say that one more time.
Anything that does not express itself becomes depressed.
That's super true.
Yeah, I can't take credit for making that up. I listened to a podcast called Lewis Howe's School of Greatness.
There you go.
Check it out. It's amazing.
All right.
But yeah, and when people become depressed, we develop all types of disorders, right? Mental health issues. You know, people have even been theorizing that just mental health altogether eventually deteriorates the brain, you know, certain things that will lead us to like Alzheimer's or schizophrenia. And that's just by not keeping certain emotions in check to where they get to run rampant on our body. And this takes a toll on our nervous system, our psychosomatic system. You know what I mean? It's just, it does the same things to dogs too. And so when this happens to them, it's different to fix because we can't talk to them. We can't get them a counselor. I'm their counselor,
right?
Essentially, I'm like the counselor between the dog and the human. And the human says, my dog does this, and it annoys me, or I don't want this, or why is it biting? And then I look to the dog and I say, what's up? I say, what's going on? For real, tell me. I know that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They're like trying to tell me all this stuff. The humans always words, right? Words. But we say a lot with our body language, with our intonation, and the way that we like to express. Our signature is carried in the way that we speak and in the way that we act. So I looked at the dog and I say, what's going on? And then they look at me and they go, I'm like, all right, well, let's go for a walk. And then they're like, yo, my owner never walks me. My owner doesn't understand me. They're just like, say things to me all the time, and like it's so inconsistent. Like sometimes they mean food when they say food, but sometimes when they say food, they're just talking to themselves about food. And right, you know, like
those TikToks where they're like, hey, so the other day I was going for a walk, and they're like, and I was like, and then I got some treats, like
those triggers, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, we go in there and I hear what they're saying, and I'm like, okay, I got your vibration. Let me figure out how to best convey this to your human, so they can understand how to give you a more liberated life.
Yeah.
A freer life.
That's awesome. How'd you get into this?
So I was in the military. I dropped out of high school when I was 16.
How old are you?
I'm 29. I just turned 29 on February 20th.
All right. Awesome. Happy birthday. Happy late birthday.
Thank you, brother. What about you?
I'm 26.
26?
Yeah. Birthday's on December 10th.
December 10th?
Sagittarius.
Hey.
I saw your eyes. You're like, what sign is he?
Yeah.
Sagittarius, dude.
Thank you for telling me. I don't like guessing. I do. I love guessing.
Oh, shit. We should have done a guessing thing.
Oh, dang.
So you got out of the military. Or, I'm sorry, you were in the military, dropped out of high school.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, dropped out of high school. Parents got divorced. I'm like, all right, let me figure out what I can do to make me the most independent away from all this. Join the military. Like, that's the good idea. You know?
Yep. A lot of independence there.
Exactly. I don't want discipline.
Yeah.
So let me go to the military.
That's so funny that a lot of kids actually think that way. Like, well, I have nothing else to. I'm gonna go in the military, and it's like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's which I support the troops. You know,
yes.
Shout out to the troops.
Of course, and thank you. Thank you as well.
But
shouldn't be the first decision though. That just because I have nothing else going on.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
But yeah, I went into the military 3.5-ish years, 4-ish years. Got out when I was 20. 17 to 20, and then so yeah, like 3 years. And then when I got out of the military, they gave me a big check from my service that I had built up from that time, and I had to go back and live with my mom. And after 4 years or 3 years of not living with your mom and doing that from being a teenager, dropping out of high school, never. She had her boyfriend at that time that I introduced her to on a vacation. Like, ew.
Dude, you were the wingman? That's sick.
I was. My mom's wingman. Because she's only 15 years older than me.
Okay.
So, that's my savior right there. That's my lady.
That's your homie.
That's my homie.
Oh, yeah.
So, I went to go live with her. And I was like there for 6 months. My life was like tearing apart. I was like, this is horrible. I became depressed because I didn't know how to express.
Exactly.
And then I met a girl, and I like started boxing, met a girl, so I was not angry anymore, and I was living with her, and I got a dog, and Bluesif is her name. And when I got her, it changed my life because all I wanted to do was spend my time with her, and I had a very crafty way of being unemployed without having to go find a job.
Yeah. Hell yeah. That's sick. That's the American dream, dude.
It's the American dream.
And now it is.
Yeah. And I'm from Canada.
Oh,
by
really?
the way. Yeah.
Nice.
I rode my bicycle here from Canada.
What?
Yeah.
I just peeked. Sorry for everyone listening.
Yeah.
What? Here to San Diego?
To Oceanside, California, 2,500 miles, 50 miles a day.
Why?
Just me, Bluesif, Pantera, and her other son at that time. I was just like, yo, I have so much free time. I'd lost something real close to me. And I was like kind of hurting, kind of searching, and just like had ample time. And I'd been traveling the years prior. I'm like, no, I'm going to buy a bike. I'm not going to hitchhike this year. I'm not going to buy a dang ticket. I'm going to do this on my own willpower. And so I left in November 11th in the dead of winter.
Yeah, what the hell?
It snowed on me in every state.
From where in Canada?
Sarnia,
Don't even know where that
Ontario. It's across from Flint, Michigan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
what the hell? So how do you make that trip? Do you go across Canada and then down?
Well, I was already in Ontario. That's where my mom lives. And so I just went down to Sarnia, where I have a really good lifelong friend that lives there. And I got my equipment there and crossed over on the ferry. And then rode from, Michigan to Indiana to...
Jeez.
Yeah, Kentucky, and then Illinois, and then Missouri, and then Arkansas, and then Oklahoma, New Mexico, Arizona, and then California. And it was so nice arriving in California. I was like, woo!
For a lot of reasons.
Right? Oh, so many.
How do the dogs take it?
Well, just to touch what you were saying, it was freezing before, and then California and Arizona, it's like, oh, finally.
Yeah.
You know? And the dogs are not supposed to run 50 miles a day. So I ended up pulling them.
Yeah.
Mostly.
I bet.
Yeah.
How many dogs did you have with you?
3.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
Is that the pack that you have right now?
They're like the base of the pack, yeah. One of them actually passed away. His name's Frankie.
Damn.
But, you know, his spirit lives on. It's amazing. These dogs, they've changed my life. And so just getting back on point to what it was, you know, I'm living with my mom, move out of my mom's, stop being angry, have a dog, don't want to go get a job. So I'm like collecting what we call in Canada welfare, right? They call it EBT here.
Right.
You know?
Hell yeah.
But they give you cash there.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Healthcare and cash, baby.
Dude, shout out to Canada, man. That's why you guys are so happy.
Right, yeah. Most of us. We all come down here, though.
That's true.
Cali's where it's at.
That's true, man.
Yeah.
There's no better place. Wow. I'm trying to process all of this.
It's a lot.
What did you do once you got here?
When I got here, I was homeless for 2.5 months, and it's like 2.5. But yeah, 2.5 months, and I just made sure to be clean every single day, walk around with my dogs, because that's kind of my business card until I finally got shirts and business cards.
Right.
And just being seen, building presence, working with them the way that I do, you know, looking at them, being like, get over here, you know, bobbing my head to beckon them kind of thing, or using my hands to motion. And this just gained attention from people. And then finally, like on my birthday, my last day of being homeless, I ended up walking in a coffee shop, Jitter's Coffee Shop. And it might have even been the day after, but I walk into this place, I sit my dog at the door, I walk up to the cashier, I get a coffee, and the person that was working at that time was like, yo, how did you do that with your dog?
Your dog just sitting at the door this whole time?
Yeah, baby Frankie, he's maybe 11 months right now, just sitting, no leash, no collar, because I'm ratchet like that. And, you know, she's like, I want that, I need that. And I was like, okay, here you go. Here's my information. And boom, I was able to move into a place the next week. And that's kind of just, haven't went back to that. It's been beautiful. Just a lot of dog training.
Were you... When you were homeless, where'd you stay?
Everywhere. So the crazy thing is, while I was traveling for those 2.5 months, pedaling every single day, you're not homeless, you're traveling.
That's right. I was literally just going to say that.
But then I got here, and because I'm stationary, and even though I just had that huge long trek, I just instantly became homeless, and you're looked at differently immediately.
Yeah.
It's like, you can feel the difference in how people are receiving you. It's like, whoa, no. And Oceanside, California, South California, there's a lot of homeless.
Yeah, and it's getting pretty bad. It's sad.
It's getting pretty bad. And also, it's so easy to be homeless in these places. Like, I'm from the north. It's cold up there. Being homeless is like, you're tough, and you're tough here too. And like, there's places in other countries. Like, I can't even begin to go down that whole place, but...
Imagine being homeless in like Saudi Arabia.
That's what I'm saying.
It's hot as hell over
there.
Right?
Saudi Arabia?
100
Alaska.
100 plus Alaska.
Or Nunavut, you know? That's a Canadian place.
Yeah, Nunavut for sure.
No one wants none of it. I want none of it.
It's just one of those places. I think there's a lot of places in Canada. I've spoken to people that live there for a stint in their life, and they're like, yeah, there's places that just people don't want to be in.
No.
Like...
Just desolate.
People might live there, but just because they live there. It's not like, well, I live there because I love it.
No.
I'm like, dude.
They're just there.
I live in Escondido, but still, like, I always praise about, like, this place is dope, man. I want to go to the snow. I can go to the snow today.
I know, right? That's what I love about Cali.
Yeah, and then the beach is right there.
Yeah.
But, that's crazy. Is there anything when you were homeless that you kind of learned that stuck around with you?
Yeah, definitely. How to not judge a book by its cover, because there's a lot of homeless people out there that having a conversation with them is kind of like I got to play that part, you know? That's not my life, but they accepted me because I looked like one of them.
Yeah.
And I am one of them. We're all the same. And it's just this garment right here that makes me look any different. And that's
exactly
it. That's literally it. And so, but they would accept me. I went to Brother Benno's every morning. I'd take a shower, get some food, get my day pack kind of thing. I'd stack up some food so I don't have to go every single day.
Yeah.
You know, on the weekends, have some rest. But people are good. On my hungriest days when I didn't have any food and I didn't plan well, there's people who they didn't have anything either. And they would stop by and they'd be like, and I was hungry and I was getting sad and I was getting mad at nothing but just like the frustration of the situation I was in. And, you know, it brought tears to my face all the time because it's just like, wow, you don't have anything. And there's a lot of people out on the streets that are real hustlers. Like if they just had purpose, excuse me, sorry about that.
That's all good.
Purpose set to hands, they would be very beneficial to the community. But they're like abstracted. And I feel like, I'm not going to go down that road, but it's just like there's a way for there to be social justice rather than this injustice, this inequality that's going on.
Let me touch a little bit more on this homeless situation. I had Clark Bartram on here, absolute legend. He and I, one day he called me. I think I've talked about this before, but one day he called me and was like, hey, man, I met these homeless people and they kind of let me into their circle. I want to make a documentary about it. And I was like, dude, I'm game. This was like a little bit before COVID. And we just interviewed homeless people to interview them.
That's awesome.
And I had someone text me like, hey, you know, my wife just saw you. And he didn't say like where or like how or whatever. I was interviewing a lady who had no teeth, had just like terrible like damage, like sun damage on her skin. Like, because she's out there. Yeah. And clothes were super dirty. Had an incredible story though. And I was just kind of like, oh, you're doing that? You know, it was like people would like tense up, like make sure you're careful, you know? And
oh, that gives me goosebumps.
Yeah, man. I'm like, I mean, you see them out there and we never really like say anything. They're out there. Yeah. But,
everywhere. Hold up. No, we're good.
You checking? There's a guy in here that lives here, just every other day. It's crazy to me because I thought the same thing. I'd be like, oh shoot, there's someone asking for money. Don't look. Right. Where maybe all they need is like a little smile and like, hey, how you doing? I don't have any money for you, but you know, how's your day going or something like that.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
And one of them said, he's like, I've dug ditches and I've done this and I've done that. Flying that sign is the hardest thing I've ever done. Yeah. Because the pride is just like, people assume like, oh, they just want to be out there and some
don't want to work.
Some of them
lazy,
just kind of want to be out there because they're like, whatever, I have nothing else. Yeah. But other people are like, no, you know, I'm trying to stay in a hotel and I'm about to get evicted from there and I'm waiting on another person and we're gonna put our money together. And I'm like, man, that's insane.
And beautiful. Waiting on another person, teaming up, get this thing. But it is insane.
Just because they have that connection.
Camaraderie.
You were saying there's a way to like help them out or like with that social injustice. What do you think? What would be one of your ways? Because I'm still looking for the answer. Yeah. Like I would love to just have a billionaire go out there and be like, here, start your life. Start your life. So that obviously is not plausible.
Right.
But
and that's dangerous too.
Yeah. Right. Just exactly. Turn around and get freaking stabbed and now I have more money.
Right. Or they OD. Or whatever it is.
Exactly.
You know? I mean, that might be a good and effective way to get rid of all of them, is give them more than they can handle. And, you know, but that is not the way. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is create jobs, sustainable jobs that no one else really wants to do, but that you see homeless people doing anyways. Like, homeless people will clean the lot. They'll pick up all the cigarette butts. They'll get those clothes that are hanging around everywhere. Like there's so many deposits of just debris and junk all over the place. Who cleans up the roads? Why are you having some volunteer group do it that like, it's
in trouble that they got a $500 ticket and they're trying to get rid of it.
Right.
That's true.
I mean, and it could be piecework. So the reason why I say this is because I know a few people who are out there and they're hustlers. And then there's some that aren't even homeless, and they do this. What they'll go is they'll get cans. They'll go and collect bottles.
Oh, we've seen them.
Yeah. And some of them make $400, $500 every time they go. And that's only twice a month.
That's a part-time job, though.
That is a part-time job. And they're biking. And if they got the setup, awesome. But generally, they don't even have the setup.
Yeah.
You know, what about kidding all these people with a bike and a means to move around freely? And hey, when you see garbage, you pick it up. At the end of the week, if you have a lot of garbage, we'll weigh how much garbage you have. We'll pay you your piecework by that. City's clean.
That's true.
You know, beaches clean.
That's very true.
They're starting to feel good about themselves. They're the ones who keep it clean. That's a sense of pride. They're going to start carrying themselves differently, feeling like they're a part of the community, not a part of the community.
Exactly. And a lot of them were saying that, like, we don't exist. And
it's like that.
Yeah, like
it's designed.
Exactly.
You know?
And they're like, yeah, people, I've been spit on, I've been, mocked, and I'm like, dude,
get a job.
Get a job.
Yeah. You junkie.
I mean, some of them might have been junkies before, and then they realized, like, this isn't the life for me, and
right.
It's insane.
And on the flip side, I've had people who have 3 children, and they just lost their job. And their wife also just got a divorce with them. And also they just got sick. And there's like too many of these bills adding up at one time, and boom, their house is taken because there's no empathy in the business world like that. It's like, you can't pay, you got to go.
Yeah.
And so now we have, a man reduced in stature because of the, outer circumstances that are kind of imposed by a monetary system.
Yeah.
So that's all. I mean, that's all.
Everything stems from something bigger.
Yeah.
There's no one answer to everything.
No.
I think we're cooped up at home. We're seeing all these problems.
Yeah.
And we're getting frustrated, but
right.
It's like you when you were angry. You're like, well, remind me of the quote, the depressed one.
If I am not able to express, then I will become depressed.
Exactly. And that's what we're experiencing right now. And
right.
I'm really glad you said that because...
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, because we're sitting at home.
Yeah.
And I mean, things are quote unquote getting better, but there are people that haven't worked for almost a year now.
Yeah.
And it's like, what toll does that take on them? What toll does it take on the kids? I'm mostly thinking about the kids. It's like,
right.
They are on their computer all the time.
Well, that's
Zoom.
Kids these days, right?
Yeah.
Like back in the 90s, this would have never been a problem.
Exactly.
Everyone would have been out playgrounds, playing sports and whatnot. But what we think is a job.
Yep.
We have people going to working their 9 to 5s and whatnot. Like you were talking about how, we get this sense of independence, the way that we get to work, being entrepreneurs and whatnot. 100%. You didn't really say that, but that's what I feel like you were implying.
Yeah.
And so I feel like right now there's a lot of people at home and they're like, yeah, I did lose my job and I haven't been doing anything for a year. But I feel like they're starting to ask themselves this question: why have I not done anything for a year even though I lost my job? Like, how does that stop you from going to the gym? How does that stop you from now utilizing 16 hours of your conscious day
exactly
to get the results that have always been? The job was the excuse before.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's nothing.
Yep.
You know?
Contractors are backed up. We're trying to get a on the other side of this. I mean, obviously it's a gym, but we're trying to build like a 2, I guess, office spot or whatever here. And the guy who wants to rent the other spot out, he's like, yeah, I can't find anyone because everyone's just booked. And it's because people are sitting at home. Now they don't have an excuse. They're like, oh man, we got to get this fixed. Or we got to start, doing this and kind of expressing their creativity through that. But
yes.
Yeah, we did go on a tangent.
No, but that's good though, because that's mostly how people express themselves in our society is monetarily.
Right.
And there's being a strangle on that, like there's a hold on that's going on. You can't just be spending money when we're not making money.
Exactly.
It's gonna dry up at some point. What happens then?
Those stimmies though.
Those stimmies.
I'm waiting on this other one right now. But it's all going to credit cards. Anyway, let's not talk about my financial struggles. People are like, you work for yourself? I'm like, I work for the credit card company. You know what I mean?
They should start paying. That'll take it down. That's amazing,
exactly.
bro.
So let me go back to the canines, as you call them.
Mm-hmm.
like I said before, I've always been one of those guys that just like is like, my dog has to be rough. My dog has to kind of like, just I mean they don't have to be rough, but they just, I love when a dog plays. I love when a dog is being a dog,
slamming into one another.
Exactly. But I've gone to dog parks before where they're like, hey, control your dog.
Control your dog.
And you're like, my dog's chilling, dude. Like, my dog's trying to play. Your dog's an asshole.
Your dog's beefing.
Yeah, exactly.
Why?
Why do these things happen? Why do people... I kind of want to get into the relationship of people and their dog.
Good.
What are some of those negatives? Where do those negatives stem from, in your experience?
Yeah, because definitely a lot of people, I feel like we might universally say the same kind of thing. Sorry. Yeah. We might kind of say some of the same things, and that's cool. But in my opinion, I'm just like, we've moved away from the dog being a dog to treating it like a child, and then but also not treating it like a child that has liberty or freedom, like the way that we treat our children.
Yeah.
Which is like, whoa, don't step on the grass. It's wet right now. Your feet are going to get cold. You know, don't go on the water. You might catch a cold. Or, hey, did you put on the SPF 90 because the sun's out and it's raining outside? Did you put a jacket on? I'm worried about you. I don't want you to be uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. Hey, you don't want to go to the sleepover that all your friends are going to because you want to stay home because you got anxiety? I can work with that.
Right.
Get out of here. What do you mean go do these things? Like, we're sheltering so much, and we're moving into the like Black Lives Matter and all this feminism and transgender, and like there's so many splits and factions that are like popping up, but they're always there.
Right.
But now there's like this unification through them, with them, but also like we're all being exposed to each of these communities so much. I feel like it's making people kind of recoil a little bit and being like, I don't know what moves I can make without offending this person or that person and this, you know, people. If you want results, if I want results, I need to do the things that get me those results. Insanity is doing the same thing over again, expecting different results. So if it doesn't work, do something different. I see people who this is what they do. They end up sheltering their dog. They treat it like the human. They start putting and projecting their emotional patterns on them without hierarchy, without discipline or rules or boundaries. And already the thing that the dog needs is mainly a hierarchy, a pack leader.
Yep.
And so with the pack leader not there, the dog is supposed to be the pack leader, but technically being raised by the people, but the people are projecting on the dog unbeknownst to them, because dogs are sponges and will absorb whatever's around them. And so now we have this, I mean, when people have these disorders and we can get help, we can start to sort it out, you know, after years, writing it down, getting through it. The dog just gets all this in his vibration. Boom, dense, you know, what used to be something that's easy as a puppy to change. Now you have, you know, the dog is psychotic. The dog has neurologic issues because neurons that wire together fire together, and it thinks that not only is it the weird twisted leader of its house, but also it needs to protect the ones in his house, but only when they're afraid, and also they're afraid all the time, and you can't get away from that. Like, that's a dead end for a dog that describes one situation.
Yeah.
And inevitably that's going to happen, and there's going to be a fight, there's going to be teeth, and someone's going to have to point the finger. And so we have people pointing fingers because of their negligence towards their dog's mental well-being and physical, spiritual well-being. And because of this, now they're saying, oh, your dog is being a dog? That's cool, your dog's like that, but my dog's bad. Can you control your dog? My dog's bad.
Yeah.
My dog will bark at your dog or bite your dog. Put your dog on a leash. Get out of here. Yeah. Go get a trainer. What are you talking about? Put my dog on a leash because my dog's being an animal? I mean, people do the same thing, though. We've outsourced our security and I'm not saying it's a bad thing or whatever, to the police department or the government, but I mean, we pay people to govern our mentality. We pay people to make us feel secure, and those same people, we all know where that goes. Yeah, you know what I mean?
That's true. Wow, when you put these kind of parallels on it, it makes sense. I've always had kind of I always hear this term, separation anxiety with your dog, and in my opinion, I think it starts with the human. You're constantly
Yes.
with your dog, and your dog falls down, and you're like, oh my god, my baby,
Yeah.
are you okay?
Yeah.
And like I see these owners that are like that, and I'm like,
Yeah.
as a puppy, I'm like, dude, your dog's fucked.
Yeah.
Like, do you know the damage it's doing? Like, oh my god, it's
Right.
barking. Oh my god, it's barking. Oh my god, it's barking.
Right.
Like, you know,
Yeah.
let it bark, or I don't know,
don't.
or don't.
But if you don't want it to, don't tell your dog you don't want it. It doesn't know what you're saying.
right.
You got to show. What does that look like? It looks like getting a response. What does that look like? That varies from person to person.
So in a situation where a dog has that separation anxiety, what are maybe some tips that you usually give?
Definitely to work on the relationship with the dog. Start going for more walks, scheduled. We both have something to look forward to. When we have a goal in mind, it kind of makes everything in between doable, manageable,
Right.
tolerable even. Time is something that exists for us, but for a dog, eternity awaits every single time we leave that door. They have no idea when we're coming back.
Yeah, that's true.
Fucking crazy.
And they're just sitting there like,
Right.
he'll be back any minute.
Yeah.
It just left, dude.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Right? And we get back, they're just like, boom. Like,
Yeah.
you didn't even tell me where you were going. But the cool thing is, we start to build a routine with our dogs. Tell me, how fun is it to only ever be told what to do when you're doing something wrong?
Yeah, no.
But
That's what school was for.
Yeah, institutionalization
Exactly.
of education.
Yeah.
Schools of thought are meant to be free and infinite and get to expand. And then we put a box on it. But
Yeah.
that's besides the point.
And because I think also the language you use is we own the dog.
Right.
That's our dog.
Right.
And I use that language too.
My
but
dog.
my dog.
Yeah.
I mean, my dogs are dope, but
I believe that.
yeah, dude,
for sure.
they're little shitheads. I love them.
Yeah, they
but
should
like,
be.
yeah, when you get that kind of like when I was a kid, I used to think like, no, you have to scream at the dog. You're, no, you know, and just rub its face in it. And,
What is that?
Nah, like,
It's weird.
yeah, my dog was eating its poop,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, oh, I did some research, and turns out my dog's not, you know, psychotic. She just isn't
Nutrient.
is either lacking nutrients
Yeah.
or our schedule has been off because I was like in and out of town, so our food schedule was off for a while, and you kind of have to look at all that stuff. We just think they're just there to be.
I like that you say that and you bring it up because that the food schedule is off. So
Yep.
I'm eating my poop now. You know? Like
I caught her in a hole. Just
it gets that serious with a dog, bro. Like
Yeah.
imagine with your mom, you miss dinner and you come back,
Exactly.
she's in the toilet.
she's just eating her shit. I don't know when you're coming back. Just looks up at you. Oh, my bad. Dude.
That's bland.
Oh,
That's so funny.
When you put it in human terms, you're kind of like, this is insane.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be like that with a dog. Like, but you have to look at the problem and be like, okay. Like whenever like a dog hurts their leg or something, and the owner's like, oh my god, I have to take him to the vet right now. It's like your dog probably just stepped in a hole, and you know, monitor it for a little bit.
Yeah.
Let him keep the routine.
Yeah.
Let him just kind of be.
Yeah.
And then if it doesn't get better in like a couple days, and you should be worried.
3-4 days I watch anything, see if it's getting worse, getting better, and then after that I would consider it serious.
Do you have any like trainer kind of headaches that you get with obviously you don't want to bash clients and all that, but we've all kind of had
it's
those.
so easy to talk about this without bashing any clients.
Really?
Yeah, because
Go for it.
Well, it's the reality of the situation. It's like what we've been talking about. We're not able to treat these animals like animals. We're treating them like people, but not only people, we're treating them like marshmallow people. They're so soft. You know, too hot, you're going to melt. Too cold, you're going to freeze. You know, it's so conditional. And it's just, my biggest headache is attempting to get across to the person that and this actually creates success for anyone in their life. It's when we're able to create a routine, you know, plot our course and then sail that course, ask exactly for what we need and then put it out there to the universe, take those actions towards those goals, kind of everything starts to fall into place, and we as people become more resilient in the moment. We're actually able to be more present even in the moment.
I'm listening. I'm trying to set this
Oh,
up.
no, totally. We're able to be more present in the moment because we're like, wow, you know, I'm kind of frustrated right now, but I do know that I'm going for a run in an hour. And, oh, you know, I'm really angry that that person said that to me, but I know that I'm about to go for a walk right now anyways. You know, it's just my schedule, and I'm going to have time to reflect on that. Come back. You know, they always say take 10.
Yeah.
Take 10. Don't react. So there's so many things that the parallels in dog training and how to live life are huge. They've influenced me heavily because it's like, if we want our dogs to learn something, we want them to change their... Okay, first off, the remedy to any dog, any situation, any problem is exposure, creating a routine, rules, boundaries, and limitations. Implement those things in a healthy way, you know, 3 walks a day, 1 hike every other day, playing with the ball every other day in between that, you know, and, you know, 2-3 days out of the week, they get to see other dogs on their dog pack. Like, these things, there's a reason why it helps us to become balanced, right? We put our kids into programs in school. They have extracurricular activities. If you homeschool your child, we're supposed to have them also engaged in learning groups and whatnot, so they're not just there learning
sports and all that.
Sports, everything, you know, getting out there, having a life.
Yeah.
Oh, so, you know, I give my dog a life and it makes them more balanced. Yes, that's it. You let them almost mirror the life that you have, and then they're happy, they're grateful, they're appreciative. Right. And that's what's lacking from the relationship, is that equivalent exchange of appreciation, integrity, gratitude, and love, really.
So everything you're describing is people that have been quarantined for a year. It's I mean, if you're caged up, you're going to be...
I love it.
You're going to feel like shit.
Exactly.
You're going to be like, oh my God, I have to go somewhere. Like, you're either going to get depressed, or you're going to eat your own poop, or like, you know, anything like that. Like, to put it in like extreme terms, you start eating like crap. You start eating just anything, drinking anything and everything. Right. You want to like almost feel something. Like
maybe getting bored, doing drugs, stuff like that.
Exactly. Like, obviously, dogs can't shoot up heroin, but
they try.
I've seen it. You're like I've seen it. You'd be surprised.
Definitely.
Yeah.
On my bike ride.
You're just in the back, like. I probably shouldn't be live saying that, but what's up to everyone? I hate lives, dude. They're so awkward.
They're lagged. They're lagged too. What's up, everybody?
You know, when that guy's just standing in front of the camera, they're like,
yes.
They're waiting for it. They're like, all right, let's wait for that. It's like, you're gonna have 5 people, right? Those 5 people are gonna cycle off.
I've only ever seen 15. That's it, bro. Come on.
Exactly. And he's like, what up? Oh shit. All right. Yo, what up? And then the person leaves and like,
poor connection.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna get off this. Dude. I'm just doing it. So I don't know if you heard, I've been doing kind of research on like Instagram and how to grow your brand and all this shit. Yeah. And like, apparently you have to use everything. Yeah. So I've never done a live. This is my first one. Okay. Hopefully my stuff gets thrown out there in the algorithm.
I'll share it.
Thanks, man. Mm-hmm. I don't even know how to stop it, so that's pretty cool.
You don't. You don't.
You don't. You let it go. We're gonna take a quick break because I have to use the restroom, and we'll be right back to talk about everything.
What it's like to be in the cage.
Exactly. Hell yeah. That's the name of the episode. What's it like to be in the cage.
That's dope.
How long does this have to go for?
Good energy.
Yeah. Fuck it. I forgot. It's all good.
Well, there's something that just, it's really nice. Like, everything that we're talking about is really cool because it all works together. Like, it doesn't really matter that I do dog training. It's literally just a way to handle life. It's like we create rules for ourselves. We stick to those rules. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Those are our non-negotiables. We have boundaries. Things that we just know that are good for us and not good for us. So we make sure to exercise those boundaries. And then we have limitations, our natural limitations. Just, we're human. We know that we can't fly. We can't jump and stay suspended in the air. Yep. You know? Also, I feel love, I feel anger, I feel jealousy. Sometimes I feel resent. Like, these are my limitations and my boundaries. And this is how I create my rules. By working with those things together, I'm able to flourish as an individual and thrive by knowing how to create structure for myself. Through that chaos, I'm able to get more out of every single experience.
Right.
You know, I'm there. So we make the dogs grounded.
That's beautiful.
That's it.
And again, I'm going to make another parallel. I have a cat. I have 2 dogs. I have 1 cat.
No, I'm just joking. I love cats too.
I'm not a big cat guy. The cat just kind of fell in our laps one day, and I was like, you know what? I'll keep it. Keep her.
There's a funny joke there. And pussy raining from heaven.
Yeah. Fell on my lap. Ow.
That's gross.
I just licked the mic. Gross.
No, now it's proper.
Now we're getting real. We're in the perv chair today. Yeah. I actually trained my cat to like come when she hears this.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I don't know if you can hear that.
The rubbing of the fingers.
Yeah, the rubbing of the fingers. She comes. She knows her name, because I guess a lot of cats don't, or they don't care to. Cats are very they're just like people.
I love it.
In the way that they have their own quirks and they have their own. Mm-hmm. My dog hates being rubbed in her belly, and I tell people that, and they go, "Oh, why?" I'm like, just the way. Like, do you want me to go up to you and like poke your butthole?
That's what I say.
Yeah, exactly.
For real, not the butthole thing, but
yeah,
I do.
I'm going extremes, but yeah, it's true. Do you like being? Or let me put my fingers in your nose like this, and they're like, I wouldn't want that. The cat doesn't want it either. The dog doesn't want it either.
The dog doesn't. Dog will bite you. Cat will scratch you.
Exactly, and I think we kind of put like
what you just said. Okay, you know, the first question you asked me, what are some of the things, you know, you see your dog's just trying to play and have fun. The other person's like, no, my dog's bad. Huge. Okay, so lost the point completely. It's okay.
What's wrong with that? Dude, that dog threw us.
What was it? What were we just saying? It was like about getting hurt or something like that. What did we just say? What the
about what I just literally
Like, literally.
How you have your own quirks. You don't really like to be... You don't like to be pet in certain places or whatever. Same with the dogs.
I got it. So here's the thing. Is people... Then, because we treat these dogs not like dogs, we take away the fact that we need to respect them as animals.
Right.
These things can hurt us. I mean, they can kill us. They really can. It's happened, unfortunately. But... we treat them like these humans, and then we go to do something that is maybe ignorant on our behalf that is actually a huge disrespectful move to the dog, like going to touch the dog on the head when you don't know the dog. The dog doesn't like you and you get bit. Now that dog is getting quarantined, possibly put down. Person's going to get sued or fined or whatever it is. Dog's going to be on watch now, all because I was too ignorant to maybe say, maybe this majestic, beautiful, many-toothed animal might want to not have me touch him right now.
Maybe they had a bad day too.
Yeah. And how are they going to tell us no? Us humans so high.
Exactly.
Right? Exactly. They're going to bite us. So, I mean, I feel like that's created so many problems for people because they've wanted to interact with these animals in such a way that actually is indignant. Like it's indignant towards the animal. It's not respecting them. We're treating them like possessions. Yep. And this is the base of all problems with our dogs.
Circle it back. That's what we started talking about. Yeah. You know, I just remembered when you were saying that, I remembered my next question.
That's how you know we're on
when
track.
I was in the bathroom. Yeah. We're in now, baby. Sorry about the...
Whoa.
We literally were forgetting everything.
Right.
Dang. Before I forget again, what are your... I'm going to ask you a question that I've gotten asked so many times because I think we're like in the same situation with our careers. Mm-hmm. What are your credentials?
My credentials? Well, okay. So yeah, when I got out of the military, I started walking my dog and, you know, I loved it. And like I said, I was collecting welfare, did not want to work. I wanted to spend all my time with my dogs. And I'm a creative individual now. This was a depressed Randy, so I didn't know. And actually, Bluesive, my dog, is actually what taught me to express. It led me on so many different adventures just so I could see her tail wag. You know, it's awesome. Beautiful.
That's awesome.
And so I ended up finding this job on Craigslist one day because the girlfriend was like, listen, it's cool you get these $600 every month,
but
I'm paying for everything and you eat a lot.
Right.
Like, no one else has parallels like that. That's with me right now.
That's so funny.
But I ended up calling up this Happy Dogs, and it was a dog walking position. I was like, sign me up. I can bring my dog? Sign me up.
Hell yeah.
It's the only way I'm working is if my dog gets to come with me. And so she was able to come with me, and I just noticed, Blue Sif, my dog, she already listened. And that's not because I was a trainer, and that's how I know it's not about being a trainer. It's just I loved her. And I was like, how do I make sure you see as much as possible, are as safe as possible, but still get to be you as much as possible, which is pretty much how my mom raised me. And
right.
I love her for that. It's amazing. But that was it. And then the dog starts listening. The canines, they pay attention to those who take steps with them. If we move as a unit, we move as a pack, we move together as a group, well, we're similar. We do if you do that, I do that. We're pack, we're ride or die like that. So I started seeing that the dogs were listening to me. And my boss started noticing that they were listening as well. And he invited me out one weekend to his super dogs training. We had like 16 people, all with their dogs. Horrendous. But it was amazing because they were listening, right? Because it was good instruction. He's a very good instructor. Pat Levine is his name. And so, he invited me out, and I was just helping people. And he was like, you know what? Kind of looks like you like it. You got a knack for it. Let me teach you. And so then he became my mentor officially. And I ended up learning how to run the shop, do the training programs, obstacle and agility, course training. The only thing I never really did was attack training. But I want to touch base on that right now because the theory, okay, how you teach dog to be aggressive with these with training is that you keep them in a crate, in a box all the time, except for when you bring them out to interact with them. When you bring them out to interact with them, you use an item that, will really magnetize their attention. It's their reward. They get all rattled for it. And all they want is your interaction anyways. Probably give them some treats too. So they're like, neurons that wire together, fire together, right? You're like just letting them out. This is their freedom. They get to go to the bathroom. They're going to get to eat some treats. They get to tear something up.
Yeah.
This is your purpose, dog.
That's their life.
Right. And so what happens? You leave people inside for 6 months, let them all out. What happened everywhere? The streets were rampaged. There was riots. It seems like it's like empirically validated through so many other situations in history.
Yeah. We all know history repeats itself. We know the term.
Yeah.
And that's a good point.
The winners write the history books. So
there you go. Or those of us that just kind of like look around and watch and like, what is this really about? I think if you ask questions, it's you're winning. Yeah. If you're asking questions, you're winning. Sure. If something seems right to you, question it. If something seems wrong to you, question it.
Yeah.
I think you should question everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of with this whole Black Lives Matter thing, I've kind of sat back and obviously I don't really have the authority to say like, oh, this is how it should be or whatever. But I've kind of noticed that a lot of, for example, actually, let me show you this picture of this shirt at Target.
Okay.
And
also I do think you have the right, but show me the shirt.
Here. So I'm going to show you this shirt. I saw this at Target. Read what the shirt says, if you can.
To my black people, I love you. Mess.
So the shirt next to it says all black everything.
Hold up. They ebonicsed that motherfucker right there.
What? Is that earthing? Earthing BLK.
They like make it, approachable.
So
you want to let them know way in advance that you're cool.
The equivalent of this, I used to have a coworker, Quinn, shout out Quinn Driver, and I would go up to her. She was half, but I would go up to her and I would do this bit where I was like a out of touch old white dude.
Half
like,
what?
Half black, half white.
Okay, cool.
Why? What?
I don't know. I was just wondering.
Okay.
Like anyway. Half Colombian.
Yeah, true. That's true. Damn, I'm ignorant. I should have bought that shirt. Man. Hey, man, it's all good. It's all good, baby.
Play the part.
Exactly. And I used to go up to her and go, "Yo, you like the YG?" And it was like a little bit.
I love it.
And she was just like roll her eyes, and it was a joke.
Yeah.
But seeing something like this, it's a white shirt that says, "To all my black people, I love you." Mm-hmm. I just feel like that's some like marketing shit. Some white guy was standing in and I always think of those like conference room tables like, what if we had, it's always some out of touch white dude.
George Soros. Fuck that guy.
Exactly. George Soros. Yeah, George Soros. Yeah, it's like they've turned this whole Black Lives Matter thing into like a marketing campaign. Yeah. And they've turned it into like, I have black friends. Yeah. I think that shirt is the equivalent of me being like, whoa,
you're not racist.
I'm not
black
racist. Good job. I have a black guy on my thing.
I'm right here.
And I should have this accolade on my podcast, ThisLife.
Right.
A podcast by Mayorca Media. Also, we have black people on it.
Right.
Like, I feel like
and sometimes natives.
Exactly. I've had a mixed person. I know mixed people. Mixed with what?
I need to be specific.
Yeah. I just think this whole thing, and I've said this before, and it's fine if you disagree with me, but I think this whole thing has turned into not what we want it to turn into. I think it's turned into like that
stage.
Shirt.
Yeah.
It's that stage presence. It's that, I have a black square on my Instagram thing. Like, I'm an ally.
Right.
But where are you now?
Ooh, the goosebumps came back.
There you go, man.
So I call those my truth bumps, by the way. So it means you're speaking real.
Yes. Exactly. Where are you now? What are you doing now for your community?
Right.
Where's the voice now that is screaming, I only shop at black places, and it's always people that are like not black.
Right. It's like reverse racism.
Dude, it's such a weird parallel. Yeah. And I even feel bad like being like, well, you're a black guy, what do you think? I feel like that teacher that's like, so today we're gonna read, Harriet Tubman's Journey. What do you think? You know what I mean?
And I'm like over here, who's Harriet Tubman? It's like the one not black guy. Got him on my show from Canada, eh?
With the roast hand. Your teacher got you. Fucking roast. Yo, if you're not watching the YouTube video, I highly suggest. Dude, you're like, this? But you get what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I always refer to this. There's a teacher on Fresh Prince who's like the cool like the young white teacher. He goes up to Will all the time. He's like, yo, what's the haps? Like things like that.
Yeah. Building culture around even being stereotypically prejudiced.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I think it's just gotten to a point where we're so lost in what black people want and what women want and what, because we have these higher, I guess I'll call them higher powers in our society. That's like, this is what they want. Mm-hmm. Oh, this is, when I heard Joe Biden say, if you don't vote for me, you're not black. I was like, that's where we're at.
Yeah.
That's exactly where we're at.
That's so amazing.
We almost even tell black people or women or, trans, you're a liberal.
Right.
Well, it's like, black people and Mexicans are
right.
We aren't liberal
because you're black or Mexican.
Exactly.
Right.
We're conservative at the core of ourselves. We're conservative. Our parents are conservative. My grandparents did some racist ass shit. Like
mine too. I mean, before I knew what being racist was, I was racist.
Exactly.
As a black kid, I was racist towards white kids. I was racist towards Indian kids, like West Indian, you know what I mean? Like anything that was different, because I felt like I had to be, we're segregated, kind of, not in the way that you're really segregated, but you're told you're different. You're cool. You're so cool. You know that? Why? Oh, you just, come on, brother. You're a brother. Come on now. You're everything. I'm like, oh, so this is why I'm cool? So nothing in here matters.
Right.
Okay, cool. So I can just shoot guns. I can drink and whatever, because that's literally what makes me cool.
It's a loaded topic, and I'm working on getting someone
black. I'm just joking.
Mixed.
Man. To be exact.
No, I mean she's a black woman. She's a black scholar.
Yeah.
And I want to hear from a black, not that your voice doesn't matter or anything, but like I want to hear textbook stuff.
Right.
I want to hear, and I mean on the other hand, I want to talk to someone who's openly racist, just to be like, how the fuck did you get here?
Have you seen that Netflix documentary where he goes, I think it's called like This Is America or something like that, and it's like this half Muslim dude, like he's kind of black and white, and he goes to the most racist places and interviews these people, and they do it like they do it.
It's Sacha Baron Cohen.
He's a comedian.
Borat.
No, it's not him.
Oh, okay.
But he is also a comedian though. He's bigger. He talks like this. I don't know if Borat talks like that too.
Oh no! That's on Vice.
Yes, Vice, and he has a gap in his tooth.
And he's like, "Well, I'm not even from here." Like he has the thickest accent.
Yeah, I love that show,
dude.
I mean,
what's it called? Do you know?
It's weird. No, I don't. But
look, if you're listening at home, look that up. It's on Vice. I don't know. Just Google like Vice racism show or something like that.
Man interviews every racist group there is in the world,
because he goes to that KKK.
He does. He even goes to Russia, to where it's like they're not even like really racist. They're just like I remember hearing it like this. He's like, "So you're not a racist?" He's like, "No, I'm not a racist. I just don't think that I just think that our people should breed with our people. Your people should breed with your people. Like you should."
Racist.
I mean, yeah, it is. But I've spoken to black people, so many black people when I was growing up in my life. Still am, but when I was growing up,
once I grew up, I'm like a Latino guy or whatever.
They don't tell me anymore. You're right. I'm actually transitioning to Latino.
You showed up in like white linens, like Drake.
Shout out
Drake.
Yeah, Drake, Drizzy. But
well, so sorry you didn't finish your thought because I interrupted you, but
it's okay.
When growing up, you were told
just that. I kind of forgot about that. It's okay. You're told how to be. When like I was told I was supposed to do this, I didn't even know I was allowed to skateboard. I skateboarded, and I was like, that's either gay or you're white for doing that. You're whitewashed. I remember hearing all that kind of shit when I was growing up, and even my voice when I speak, people are like, "Oh, that sounds like a white guy," and I'm like, "Wow," because I've read books and because I enunciate and I say what it is that's on my mind and articulate my thoughts, and I'm not ignorant.
Right.
They're like, "Oh, you're trying to be like not a black person." It's like, wow.
Everything black or whatever.
Everything, baby.
Everything. Insane. Yeah.
I didn't go to the marches.
You didn't?
I didn't. I don't think they work.
You're a racist.
I know.
We'll be right back. I had people tell me that. Just like, not that I'm a racist, but like, they were like, "Are you going to the marches?" And I'd be like, no, I'd rather do like something else,
anything.
And
but be proactive.
Yeah,
still,
I'll be proactive in my own way. And they'd be like, "It'd be really cool if you went and like documented it." And I'm like, yeah, that would be cool. But I think I'm
yeah.
Oh, so you don't believe in this movement? And I'm like,
all of a sudden, so many assumptions,
dude. It quickly turns into I'm not racist,
right?
I'm gonna buy that shirt and be like, "Yeah, check it out, buddy," and they'll be like, "Oh,
right." And that's you saying that, and then so me having to have that same conversation with someone is like, "Well, you're just complacent, or you're not.
You're on the side of the oppressor."
Right. I'm like, "What?" Or they got to you. You're one of the tame ones.
Exactly. You're not allowed to have a thought if it's not their thought.
Yeah, and that to me was the funniest thing about the Black Lives Matter campaign that has happened. Is first off, it's been hijacked. It's not even owned by the people or backed up by the people who did it. And then the second thing is just that it kind of split friend groups up, like black friends with black friends and black friends with white friends and white friends with white friends. It's like there was problems and lines made where they never even had to be distinguished before. I had a hurting with some of my friends because they went to the Black Lives Matter marches and I didn't. And I'm like, that shit's stupid. And I feel that in my heart, but I also feel in my heart that it's beautiful that these people do want to go to something like Black Lives Matter and like preach like that and be out there. And I'm like, that's dope. I got my ass beat though. Literally like not dozens of times, at least twice. And they're both great experiences, you know, because I get to be here now. But like, I'm not going to march where the police tell me it's okay to march defending my rights, when defending my rights is actually the lack of rights at all. It's a paradox, and no one's right or wrong.
And going back to what we said before, there's so many different layers to. It's just like mental health, and I always talk about it. You got the onion, and you start peeling layers to get to the center. Same thing. The whole systematic racism thing that exists.
Yeah, it's real.
Police brutality, and they stemmed from. I mean, they stem from a racist organization, and it's kind of hard to just be like one day turn around and be like, you know what, we're not racist anymore.
We're not gonna do that. Yeah,
we're chilling.
We're good.
Redlining, same thing. If you actually sit down, do the research, and not just listen to shit on social media,
or even just listen to us.
Exactly. Then you'll be like, oh,
follow the money.
Oh, I get it.
Follow the money for real.
Yeah.
George Soros is a man who, I forget what exactly it was, but he inflated the economy so much and then pulled everything out and watched it crumble.
He's the Google guy, right?
George Soros. Here, let me do this real quick just to give it, because this is someone that everyone should know about.
Educate us, man.
George.
I know. Who's that fat guy that he always talks about him? George Soros.
And he's angry all the time.
What's his name? What's that guy's name?
No, but
he was on a podcast, and
he was.
Dude, it's so hard to listen to him.
He's intense.
He's just like, well, the frog. They're making the frogs gay, and George Soros he's got a concentration camp.
You sound like him. That's great.
What's his name?
I don't even know his name.
Anyway, go on about Soros, and then I'm gonna.
Well, it's just kind of crazy. George Soros is a Hungarian-born American billionaire, investor, and philanthropist. As of May 2020, he had a net worth of $8.3 billion, having donated more than $32 billion to the Open Society foundations, of which $15 billion have already been distributed, representing 65% of its original fortune. So obviously, this is something written in his favor. But like, let's just look at this. Who needs $8.3 million?
Yep.
How many people are there on the world, and why can't everyone get $200,000? Why? He'll still have money in his pocket.
Exactly.
He'll still be making money.
The guy's name, by the way, is Alex Jones. But
Alex Jones. Alex Jones.
Yeah, Alex Jones. Yeah.
Oh my God. But yeah, no.
And then that's where my capitalistic brain goes, because I'm pretty much capitalism's bitch right now, because I'm at the very bottom, but I still have to kind of, for lack of a better word, kind of suck on the teat of capitalism, because I
cultivate.
Cultivate. Oh, suck on the teat. Suck on the teat. George Soros. Dude, like every single day.
That's going to get misread. Someone's going to take it out of context, sucking on George Soros' teeth.
Yeah, dude. I wish, dude. 8.3 billion.
How much you gonna pay me?
Yeah, what's up? That's where I look at these dudes and I'm like, man, it's cool that can be achieved. It's cool that we have, those business tycoons and stuff. But again, we're peeling the onion here. Once we start peeling the onion, we're like, oh, they practice terrible business ethics, which I don't think business ethics is a thing, but they're shitting on everybody else.
They don't have to follow rules.
They don't have to follow rules.
And their business or whatever it is exists as an entity outside of themselves that can take all the repercussion of any negative decision that impacts more than just themselves. It's like when the judge and the jury come, it's not even the people who are getting in trouble, it's just the name, and then they just dissemble it.
They got a
slap
on the hand.
Yeah.
Yep.
I read in the book, and in a book, I can't even remember what it is, but they said that on Earth, the big corporations are like the demigods, in which they control everything. They control politics, the flow, inflow, outflow, so, and then when they get in trouble, they're absolved. And then they'll reappear as something else.
Well, Uber is actually they've taken precautions to not be called a ride-sharing company. They're actually a technology company.
Oh.
So they don't have to follow the transportation guidelines.
Oh.
They don't have to follow, I guess the contractor, you know how they were trying to like put a hammer down on Uber and ride sharing, Lyft and all that.
Not safe and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. So at the base of it, while I do understand that they give people jobs, is that really fair? Are they taking advantage of people? Are they the people that, and I'm the douchebag that talks to the Uber drivers, even if they don't want to talk to me. I'm like, give me that conversation.
Right.
And you know, I'm from Peru and I came here and lost my job. Now I'm an Uber driver and this is what I do. And I came here for a better life and I love my life. I'm an Uber driver. Like they have that as their identity. They put money into their cars and stuff.
Yeah.
And
Waters.
Dude,
everything.
A lot of the times it's not, they're like, well, I can put it on like my taxes. What does that do though?
Yeah.
Are you getting paid enough are you running the numbers and are you just kind of someone's, this big app's slave? Like you have to like, just like I said, I take Ubers all the time, but I have to look into the ethics of it. I shop on Amazon. I have to look into the ethics of it.
Yeah.
I have to just kind of like, is it okay that Amazon Basics exists? They're pretty much just ripping off other companies.
Interesting.
And there's a company called Peak Design that has backpacks and all this other stuff. They have this everyday sling. Amazon came out with an Amazon Basics everyday sling, and they literally put it side to side. And Peak Design was like, you know what? Shop with them, but you won't have our guarantee. You won't have our craftsmanship.
Right.
You won't have, they pretty much were like, this is what you're paying for.
So they're allowed to plagiarize, essentially.
Exactly. And they literally, they put it side to side and it's like the exact same thing.
Nice.
But they went through like, this zipper shit.
Yeah.
This doesn't open up.
Right.
This rips. And then like tearing it apart and stuff. And then they're like, but this is our bag. You have our name behind it. You have this. And that kind of shows the bigger picture of this whole thing. Yeah, Amazon is great because 2 days you're good. It's cheaper to,
convenient.
It's convenient. But at the end of the day, we're like, we've created this monster that is coming after other stuff.
Yeah, jobs. But
it's insane.
I'm just gonna say it would be beautiful if jobs became automated. Anyways, most of them I feel like can. I feel like literally any fast food joint can be completely automated.
That's true. That's very true. Like a robot.
That's it.
Would you like your burger? Yeah.
You probably won't even have someone giving it to you. It'd just be like, you know, in the take your shoot box.
But then where do those jobs go for the people that have them or had them?
What is a job and what are we working for? Why is that what we're doing in our life to make us feel fulfilled? Like there has to be equivalent exchange. But if you don't have to work for someone else, if I don't have to work for someone else, what is my job going to be? Like, I feel like that's a no-brainer. I'm going to throw mud at the water and watch how it splashes. I'm going to walk in the woods and eventually I'm going to stumble on something. And that's what I love. It's what I love to do, what makes me feel like I can stay up all the time. And that happens for everybody. It does. With enough time and seeking, questioning ourselves and looking inside, we find it.
I think one of the biggest questions that people don't ask themselves is, am I happy? And what does happiness actually mean? I'm still on the 8 to 5 mindset. I've been doing this for like 2 years or whatever. Monday, we're supposed to shoot Monday.
Yeah.
And I got...
Sorry about that.
I had some stomach issues, I got a little bit of food poisoning. I'm not going to lie. It was a slow day.
What'd you eat?
Sushi. Yeah. Oh. Sushi. Good old sushi.
Yeah.
Like half day I was done, but then I was in... half day I was done.
Day I was done.
That makes no sense. In the middle of the day, I just kind of stopped throwing up. As gross as that is, I'm going to be transparent. And I was like, should I call Randall? And like, of course I feel bad because you're not getting paid for this. This is your own.
I'm getting paid for this. No, I am.
I just didn't know it. How?
See, well, that's the thing. Is like, what is payment? What is work? What is a job?
Exactly.
You're
not getting monetary.
No, and
money.
I don't even want that. I mean, I love it. I like it. I do really, because that's what buys me the trinkets and whatnot. But this is amazing. This is exchange. This is conscious connections.
Yeah.
Right here.
That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
I'm like, and people are like, well, what do you want out of the podcast? And I'm like, I just want to fill my time with something productive. And I think this is super productive. But that whole day on Monday, I was just like, I had the biggest amount of guilt.
Interesting.
And it wasn't even like, man, I let him down. It was like, I'm not in the office today. I should, okay, I didn't do the podcast, but I should do this work and this work and this work. And I was just filling my mind with like the things I wasn't doing.
I can relate with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How so?
Well, it's filling our minds with the things that we should be doing or are not supposed to be doing kind of thing.
Right.
It's that self-chatter, that inner self-chatter that just breaks us down and eats away at us.
Is this what I should be doing? My friend with a 9-to-5 just got a new apartment. What am I still doing living where I'm living? And all those little things. And you're
Right.
just, you honestly, you don't think about it until you think about it.
Someone gets married. I'm like, should I be getting married?
Yeah.
New shoes. Oh, my shoes are kind of dingy.
Yep. And you're like, well, and then you're like, well, I need a new outfit for the shoes.
And then it just goes on. It's a loop.
Shout out to money.
It's a loop. Shout out money. Thank you.
Shout out money. Yeah.
I'm into bartering system. I'm into trading. I'm into collaboration. And I believe by building community that we can actually we can get rid of the monetary system because it's family.
Yeah.
It's building a sense of purpose in the community. Everyone knows where they fit, what they do, who fits where, when they do, kind of thing.
Exactly.
How to interact. If you don't like that, it's okay. That's not the spot for you. There's a community out there.
Yeah.
But it does have to be cultivated.
That's true.
It does.
And I mean, everywhere I go, I try to do that. I used to work at a co-working place called Local Hub, and everyone that has been listening since the beginning, that's where I did the podcast. And I would make content for them and all that. But I kind of miss that. And I think, again, circling this back to COVID and all that stuff, we do miss that sense of community and that sense of speaking to somebody. And that same person you see every single day, good morning, and then go to your cubicle, that little interaction means something.
And you raise a good point. It's our jobs, even though they're jobs, they were our community.
Exactly.
Everyone there is doing a job. We all have something in common.
Yep.
The common enemy.
Exactly. Yeah, the boss. Did you hear what so-and-so did? Oh, my God, yeah. And you guys just bond over it. Let's get a beer after work. Sure, let's do it. And you're just sitting there talking shit and shooting the shit. And, I
outside of school, how else is it going to happen?
I remember graduating high school and being like, how am I going to meet women?
Right. Straight up.
Because I was just like, I'm scared of the outside world. And now... I mean, I've met people like you, literally at Pizza Port, and I don't even
probably
remember.
Countless others.
Yeah, and there's so many people. I met someone. Shout out to Mary Jo. Met her at a winery because I was shooting for my friend Sergio. Fast forward a year, literally a year. I'm walking down to Fusion here, that's like 2 minutes away, and she comes up to me. She goes, "You don't remember me, do you?" And I was like, "Should I have?" And she's like. I was like, what did I do to you? Like, what? I'm sorry. She's like, no. You're that amazing videographer. We met at Forgotten Bear. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, what's your name? I remember we're standing here. I don't remember your name. I'm so sorry. And she's like, oh, my name is Mary. And she sent me an email the next day and was just like so sweet.
That's amazing.
And I'm like, man, if we all just kind of like reached out a little bit more to people and those tiny interactions, like they go a long way with people. Even if for you, it's like, oh, it's just a comment in passing. Yeah. It has weight.
Paying it forward, comment in passing has weight. Our words have weight. Every day on my Instagram, Canine Conscious, I put tips and I just put it there to build community. And it's just things I'm regularly doing with my dogs. They're sitting right here. There's a vehicle going by. There's a person coming. I'm getting them to look at me. Yeah. We're eating. I want them to stop. I'm gonna put my hand up.
The food one. Yeah. I actually tried with my dogs, and I was like, and it like worked.
Awesome.
Like, oh my God.
It should.
Yeah. So, dude, follow Canine Conscious. You guys have some dope stuff, and
thank you.
Again, I just to kind of wrap up here. I truly admire what you're doing and how you do it, because you are building relationships with dogs, but you're kind of going against the quote unquote common grain of, oh, my baby, and put the dog in a car seat,
and buckle them in and shit,
dude.
Like buckling your dog in,
right? I don't understand it, but that's a whole other topic.
That's it. I just got them again. The truth bombs came back. They came back. You remember?
Well, Rando, I appreciate you being on. And yeah, this was a great conversation.
For sure.
Had a great conversation.
Yeah. We didn't even scratch the surface of dog stuff. It's amazing.
Dude, we went on so many tangents. I've had people tell me like, hey, I like your show and all, but like you go on a lot of, and I'm like, you gotta fucking deal with it, dude. You know, that's my shit. And that's how I speak. Like normally I'll be like, put a pin in it. Dude, did you see that guy? You know, it's like stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, that's just how I am. And, I'm like so scatterbrained. And maybe that's why I meet people like you, and I'll see a dog and be like, oh my God, the dog, oh my God, the dog.
Right.
Can I pet your dog? Yes. What do you guys do? And then just back and forth and back and forth. And where can people find you?
You can find me at Canine Conscious. That is CANINE Conscious, CONSCIOUS. Canine Conscious. That's on Instagram. If you want to check out my music on Spotify, it's Randall, spelt R, the and symbol, and a capital L. And I'm on Apple Music as well. And if you want my personal Instagram, it's 0, as in the number 0, GDF7. So 0GDF7. And shoot me a message. Get connected. Let's create that community. Let's cultivate awareness and pay it forward.
Create that community. Mm-hmm. You can follow me at Mayorca Media. That's MAYORCA MEDIA on Instagram. If you go to the link in my bio, all my stuff is on there for the YouTube, for Spotify, for Apple Podcasts. If you're on Apple Podcasts, please give us a rating, or give me a rating. 5 stars. Dude, if you want to leave like a terrible review, but you leave a 5-star rating, I'll still read it. You know?
Come on now.
I know. Don't, but
do something productive.
He does great, but he goes on, different rambling stuff and forgets words all the time. Jeez, I'm gonna close this out. All right. Well, thank you all for listening. Make sure you go on the YouTube, watch, follow me on Instagram, and follow Canine Conscious.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.
I love you. Bye. Yes, dude, that was freaking money. That was a great one.
Awesome.
How'd you feel?
I feel great.